done yet? I need to be honest with you. For a number of years, I was a real 4K skeptic. I mean, I embraced it very early on. My first 4K camera was in 2011, and my first 4K TV, I still have it in my bedroom, 2 years later. Giant thing, costs a lot of money. For acquisition for your HD projects, 4K is an absolute dream. But for watching stuff at home, I never really felt I was seeing a massive difference over a really nice HD screen. Look, when you go to, or when you went to showrooms, TV showrooms and looked at TVs back in the day, you was really close up and look, that's when you really saw the difference. You'd spend your money, get it delivered, put it on the wall, sit back and go, well, I think it's better, but part of the reason you're saying that's because you spend so much money. So yeah, that's why I was a skeptic about 4K at home. On a whim, about 3 years ago, I decided to take up an offer that came through the post for a free eye test. So I went along to the opticians. I breezed through the test, got everything perfect. Clearly it was a 20/20 vision. I mean, my eyesight's amazing. The optician said, "You, sir, need a prescription. You have astigmatism." I went, "Me? Really?" So I bought some glasses. They came in about a week. I took them home. I sat down on my sofa. I turned on my 4K TV and I put on my glasses. Huh. Yeah, definitely better. Idiot. LG contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in making a sponsored video for their new gallery series of OLED TVs, the GX line. So I had a look online and it looked like a really lovely high feature TV. But I'd already owned a really lovely LG OLED TV that I bought just 3 years ago. So I didn't really need one, but this one really did look nicer. A couple of really key features, and one of the biggest things about it is how thin it is. It's super thin and it sits completely flush to the wall. Peel off, Gerald undone. Yay! One of the things about having a really thin TV that fits so flush to the wall is it doesn't dominate the room as much as something that really sticks out. Well, as little as any 65-inch big piece of black glass can. But this does look really nice on my wall, as you can see. In fact, that is the whole TV. I'm just messing with you. I won't do it again, I promise. Maybe. I've never been a fan of some of the features that you can have in modern TVs where they really over-process the image, so it looks nothing like how it started out, and they generally turn everything off. There is an interesting mode in here which is called an AI mode. It is supposed to learn what you watch and analyze the image and make improvements where it feels it needs to, as in brightness, contrast, lifting up certain stuff. Like all new 4K and 8K TVs from LG, this TV has the much touted Filmmaker mode, something which has been developed across brands in conjunction with very famous movie directors like Christopher Nolan.
Filmmaker mode is a mode in which we can ensure that the original intent of the filmmaker, the technical aspects of the film and the way in which we finished the film in the edit suite and the color timing room gets to the viewer the way that we intended.
And its idea is to basically get the image of modern TVs to look as accurate as possible for movies, taking away as many of these things which get in the way and adjusting stuff like the brightness, etc., to be as accurate as possible. And it really does make a huge difference. This is the first time I've ever seen my work look like what it's supposed to look like. I have a lovely setup in my edit suite with grading monitors, and that's what I want it to look like. I mean, I have no control over what people watch it on, so who knows what that's going to be. Mostly mobile phones and whatnot, with really bright and sharp and vibrant images, which is generally not what I would be going for. It basically tries to make the image look as accurate as possible and also dims that brightness quite a bit. So if you're used to having very bright images, then you can always brighten it up yourself, but that's not what they intended. You can have an auto change mode, which is really nice. So if you just want to watch normal things like news and whatever in normal brightness, etc., etc., it will detect when there's a movie on and switch into Filmmaker mode. I don't know how it knows. How does it know what a movie is? LCD TVs tend to be brighter than OLEDs with their rear illuminated panels, but you don't get as nice colours and the blacks are nowhere near as good. OLEDs have individually lit pixels, and that's why you're able to get really lovely, accurate and deep blacks. And you can really tell the difference on an OLED compared to an LCD. As you see, I use TV for more than just watching things. I use it for making videos. Not all the time because it becomes too much, but I've used this TV on the Sony A7S review for background, for B-roll, and I think it was highly effective. It was a nice, different look to things. The previous LG OLED I used for my video about the small HD 702 Touch. And that was a really, really creative video, and it was me standing very much like this, but with monitors as well. But it filmed background and then played through YouTube. It's a nice way of doing things. You get some really cool effects. So I'm going to use the TV now as a background for doing some really nice stylized product shots. So the Crane 2S is on the Genie Mini 2 from Syrup on my tripod, in front of the TV, of course. And I have the Panasonic S1H here, so it's going to be manual focus pause. The first thing I want to do is just get a silhouette shot of the gimbal. I like this because it's all very abstract right now. Nice intro shots, nice just filler shots. If you can get some nice backgrounds built up like this, works really well. The thing that I really like is this. It's so cool. So what I've done is I've connected the camera to the TV. I'm actually using a wireless transmitter here, but it's the same thing. I just wanted to keep the cables less cabley. And because there's a slight delay, you get this sort of echoing look to it. The thing that has the biggest impact on the effects you get is, of course, light. This next shot starts with just the aperture nova, and then I bring on the Philips Hue bulbs for the psychedelic effects. Alexa, lounge 100%. If you move the camera to the side more and not directly in front of the TV, you get a much more subtle effect. I mean, the key thing is to not overuse these effects. I mean, this looks really cool in a sort of 1970s BBC sci-fi kind of way. Actually, yeah. I might use this in every video. You won't get bored of that, will you? It's brilliant. The only thing that is kind of negative about the TV is down to one of its most positive things about it being completely flush to the wall. It's great for me, it's not so great for Lollipop. She used to love jumping behind the TV. Now, she's very confused. She can't work out why she can't get behind it anymore. Sorry, Lollipop. The TV has lots of really nice smart abilities. One of my favourites is it does have AirPlay built into it, which is really useful for me with my Apple products. It has loads of other apps which are really useful, like Apple TV, Disney+, Netflix, etc. It is missing a few of the UK catch-up apps, but hopefully they're coming soon. BBC iPlayer has just been added. The interface is so nice and easy, and I really like the home screen. Very clean, very intuitive. Gallery mode with all of these lovely works of art and the video clips are wonderful. It would be great if you could leave them on for longer, but you do have that issue with OLED. You don't want to leave the same thing on the screen for too long because it will burn in. It made me realise I don't need to just have this big black slab on the wall. It can be used as a window into the world. You don't have to be watching TV, just have something beautiful on there. And so my recent holiday to Skiathos, the island in Greece, which is an incredibly important place to me, probably my favourite place on earth next to home. I've made 4 documentaries there about cats and cat welfare and charity. And a film called Sharmalipi, which is an incredibly important film to me. I think it's the best thing I've done. It's certainly the most personal.
And the spine cord is injured, if not cut.
It's of course where Jimmy the Greek and Harriet, my beautiful cats, rescue cats, came from. I love it there, and to be able to have these long shots of these beautiful places that I love to just sit on my TV, just as background, is so nice. So I spent a fair amount of my time on holiday just recording for long periods of time of these incredible, wonderful views, so I could just have it on my TV when I'm home. I've created a playlist on YouTube with some of the long shots so you can put them on the TV and be transported to this beautiful place. It won't mean quite the same to you as it does to me, but it's still lovely. And I do feel I'm going to be doing more of these, try and build up a collection, especially of places which are important to me, but also just beautiful places. I think the amount of time that we've spent shut away has made me miss the world so much. And this feels like a little bit of a window back into that world. Because this is a sponsored video, it can't be a review. I'm not going to tell you my opinion anyway, and it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. It's so much better than my previous TV, and that was a really good TV. A big part of that is the size and the thickness of it. It doesn't dominate the room like it used to. Even though they're both 65 inches, this just sits beautifully on the wall. And the image is stunning. The Filmmaker mode is a breath of fresh air. Everything looks really good. Problem is, it does tempt you to watch more TV than you should. So I have to be strong at times and turn it off. It is hard though. It's so cool when you've got the on-screen display of the camera on. I'm never going to get bored of this. You're never going to get bored of this, are you? Please don't unsubscribe. I'll stop now. Sorry.